Hi everyone! This week I have been thinking a lot about criticism. This all came about because somebody I know recently got quite publicly criticised on social media. Now, I'm not going to go into the details or the specifics of who was criticised or why, and it's not somebody I'm super good friends with or anything like that, but the reaction that they had to this criticism made me go, oh! Now, I'm not going to lie, I am a very sensitive person, and when I am criticised, I don't like it. Most people don't enjoy being criticised, but for me, as someone who is super duper sensitive, if it's not done in a constructive way, I can just feel really hurt by it. And when I was a lot younger, even the softest, gentlest criticism would be met in a very sensitive way. Okay, so Emma, I looked at your homework and you did a really good job with most of it, but there's one or two little things that I think you need to have another look at. You are capable of getting this spot on, so I'd really like you to just read the notes I've made and see if you can improve it. Now that I'm a bit older, okay, a lot older, I do try to take criticism in a different way. And it was, like I said, the way that this person I sort of know, I mean, we are not close, I want to stress that, responded to recent criticism that got to me because basically they were accused of doing something that was quite selfish. And I'm not gonna lie, I agreed with the criticism. What they were doing was selfish. The way they were behaving was inconsiderate. However, the way this person responded, it wasn't great. Instead of acknowledging anything that they might have done or even offering an apology, they just started insulting the person who'd criticised them and doubled down very hard on their own right to do whatever the hell they want. You know, doing whatever the hell you want without thinking of anyone else? That's selfish! I mean, you're literally proving your critic right there. Anyway, it felt like such a perfect example of how not to respond to criticism that it made me start thinking about how I respond to criticism now and how other people respond to criticism. Because I think it's depressingly common for people to be criticised and to take it badly. Oh! Oh, listen, mate, I meant to say something about this, but you know when you came round to mine the other week and you made that joke? It felt a little bit racist, so I just wanted to, you know, make sure that doesn't happen again when you come round after this.
Excuse me, I think you'll find I'm one of the funniest people I know, so nothing I ever say should be taken the wrong way. Okay. I am hilarious. I mean, you are lucky to listen to me and my jokes. I won't come to your house if you are going to have a go at me when all I am doing is entertaining people. My God, what is wrong with you?
Like I said earlier, nobody particularly likes to be criticised. Nobody likes to be told they've done something wrong or that something they have done is not good enough, or even that they, as a person, have things they still need to learn. You know, we all like to live in our little bubbles and imagine that we're perfect. I mean, I've heard that some people do that. I like to, you know, constantly criticise myself. That's just who I am. But criticism, when it comes from a genuinely good, constructive place, is really important. How do you ever get better at something if someone doesn't show you and say, oh, I see you've done a really good job there, but you've just got this bit a little bit wrong, so let me show you how to do it right. And how do we grow as people if we never look at our own behaviour and listen to other people's criticism of us? Now, I will admit, like I said, when I was younger, I was really bad at handling criticism. I just used to cry, I just used to get upset and think, I'm the worst person ever. And actually, as I've gotten older, I've gotten better, not only at accepting criticism and being like, yeah, no, you're right, I really messed that up and I should apologise and I should do this differently, but also at knowing when criticism is unjustified. Because if this person who criticised this other person I know, yes, I realise how vague I'm being, and it's so super unlikely that any of the people involved will ever watch this because I don't know them very well, but, you know, just in case. If the person who made the criticism had actually not been justified and they hadn't been behaving selfishly, then I would have supported them in saying, hang on a minute, I get that you think that, but here's why I think the opposite is true. Because I think not only is being able to accept fair criticism a really important part of being a rounded human, but actually knowing when it's okay to stand up for yourself and say, okay, I think your criticism is unfair, is equally important. Case in point, a few years back I was given a criticism that was really, really unfair. I was basically told I was bullying someone. And if you've watched this channel for a while, you will know that bullying anyone is literally the very last thing I would ever do in a million years, because I've been bullied myself and I absolutely detest bullying with a fiery, fiery passion. What had actually happened was that... Stop! Are you about to tell a story that you haven't cleared with the person involved, whether they're happy for you to share it on this YouTube channel? I mean, that's sucky behaviour, and I'm going to give you some very just criticism for doing it. I know that that story worked out perfectly in the end and you're all still very good friends. Well, you know, all the ones that count anyway. But, you know, maybe fast forward to the bit where the unjust criticism happens without going into any detail. And this one particular person just was like,
"You're a nasty, vicious bully."
And like I said, once upon a time, any criticism directed at me, I would just go, yeah, okay, fine, I'm sorry, I'm a train wreck of a human. But in this case, I was like, absolutely not. I am well within my rights to say when someone's upset me, and I'm not going to take being called that by you. So yeah, sometimes criticism is unjust and we are absolutely within our rights to say so. But when it's fair, I really do think there's a bit of a problem, and it's getting worse in today's society, where people just go,
How dare you! How dare you say anything other than I am perfect at all times!
And it boils down to my most hated personality trait in the world, which is arrogance. One day I will make an entire video about why arrogance is the worst personality trait that you could possibly have, and all the many awful, terrible things that comes from being arrogant. But today is not that day. Right now I am just going to say that if you are someone who refuses to ever accept criticism, that is arrogance. And, you know, arrogance is the worst trait in the world. Fight me. Don't actually fight me though, because I'm really weak. So how do you take criticism? If it is fair and you can see that the other person who is making a critique of you or something that you've done has a point, do you take it well? Do you learn from it? Do you grow from it as a person? Or are you someone who's like, no, shut that down, I'm not listening to you, your opinion doesn't matter? Be honest, let me know in the comments. I really feel like where criticism is concerned, I still have a little bit of a way to go, because I'm still very, very sensitive, and there's still a little risk that if you tell me that I've done something wrong or that you don't like something I have created, that I'm gonna, you know, cry. But I'm getting there, I'm working on it. Anyway, I look forward to hearing what you've got to say on this. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can click on my floaty head up there if you'd like to subscribe, and last week's video is over there. I am off to hopefully not criticise myself too much whilst I edit this video, and I'll talk to you next week. Take care everyone. Bye!